also in the program I can see dialogue with Bhante. You want to dialogue? Eh? Oh, okay, that's the dialogue. Another over to dialogue. And in the sutta, we have also progress through mindfulness of the body, but you can read that one. It's very easy. You can read it yourself. Those who attended, you can read the portion which is called progress through mindfulness of the body. But today, I was talking about how you progress. I mentioned about it, but not reading directly from the sutta. Unless you want to read it, it's a lot of stuff. I think you could read it. I think they can read it. Yeah? Oh, no problem. Let us just at least introduce it. No problem. Who want to read? Who's feeling sleepy? The deal was anybody who feels asleep can read. Who want to read?
Who feels sleepy?
The next thing, if you don't feel asleep, the one who feel awake, you can read. You can read. You seem to be awake. At least for my knowledge. You read.
Okay. Progress through mindfulness of the body. Bhikkhus, anyone who has developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body has included within himself whatever wholesome states there are that partake of true knowledge. 1131.
No. Okay.
Just as anyone who has extended his mind over the great ocean has included it within it whatever streams there are that flow into the ocean, so too anyone who has developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body has included within himself whatever wholesome states there are that partake of true knowledge.
Continue.
Bhikkhus, when anyone has not developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body, Mara finds an opportunity and a support in him. Suppose a man were to throw a heavy stone ball upon a mound of wet clay. What do you think, bhikkhus? Would that heavy ball find entry into that mound of wet clay? Yes, Venerable Sir. So too, bhikkhus, when anyone has not developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body, Mara finds an opportunity and a support in him. Continue. Suppose there were a dry, sapless piece of wood, and a man came with an upper fire stick, thinking, I shall light a fire, I shall produce heat. What do you think, bhikkhus? Could the man light a fire and produce heat by rubbing the dry, sapless piece of wood with an upper fire stick? Yes, Venerable Sir. So too, bhikkhus, when anyone has not developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body, Mara finds an opportunity and a support in him. Suppose there were a hollow, empty water jug set out on a stand, and a man came with a supply of water. What do you think, bhikkhus? Could the man pour the water into the jug? Yes, Venerable Sir. So too, bhikkhus, when anyone has not developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body, Mara finds an opportunity and a support in him. Bhikkhus, when anyone has developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body, Mara cannot find an opportunity or support in him. Suppose a man were to throw a light ball of string at a door panel made entirely of hardwood. What do you think, bhikkhus? Would that light ball of string find entry through that door panel made entirely of hardwood? No, Venerable Sir. So too, bhikkhus, when anyone has developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body, Mara cannot find an opportunity or a support in him. Suppose there were a wet, sappy piece of wood, and a man came with an upper fire stick, thinking, I shall light a fire, I shall produce heat. What do you think, bhikkhus? Could the man light a fire or produce heat by taking the upper fire stick and rubbing it against the wet, sappy piece of wood? No, Venerable Sir. So too, bhikkhus, when anyone has developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body, Mara cannot find an opportunity in him.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. Now there's a recurrent phrase, Mara finds an opportunity and support in him. Now what's this Mara? Defilements, greed, hatred, and delusion. And also another meaning for the word Mara is also the death. Death. That's why we call Marana. Marana. Death. And also another meaning for word Mara in Buddhism is the 5 aggregates of clinging. The 5 aggregates of clinging, that means the physical body, feelings, when we hold on to them, the perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. So it makes sense when you practice mindfulness of the body, you are not going to hate the body. You're not going to have ignorance. You're not going to have attachment. That's what it means. That Mara finds an opportunity and support in him, and if you practice mindfulness of the body, Mara doesn't find support or an opportunity. Okay, I think that's the rest is very clear. Who want to continue to read? Another person who is wide awake. Another person who want to read? I choose. If nobody want to read, I choose. I choose. Whom can I choose? You. Yes. Yes. I choose. Yes. Yes. You read now. Yes. That means you are wide awake.
Suppose, set out on a stand, there were water jug full of water right up to the brim, so that crows could drink from it, and a man came with a supply of water. What do you think, bhikkhus? Could the man pour the water into the jug? No, Venerable Sir. So too, bhikkhus, when anyone has developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body, Mara cannot find an opportunity or a support in him. Bhikkhus, when anyone has developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body, then when he inclines his mind towards realizing any state that may be realized by direct knowledge, he attains the ability to witness any aspect therein, there being a suitable basis. Suppose, set out on a stand, there were a water jug full of water right up to the brim, so that crows can drink from it. Whenever a strong man tips it, would water come out? Yes, Venerable Sir. So too, bhikkhus, when anyone has developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body, then when he inclines his mind towards realizing any state that may be realized by direct knowledge, he attains the ability to witness any aspect therein, there being a suitable basis. Suppose there were a square pond on level ground, surrounded by an embankment full of water right up to the brim, so that crows could drink from it. Whenever a strong man loosened the embankment, would water come out? Yes, Venerable Sir. So too, because when anyone has developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body, he attains the ability to witness any aspect therein, there being a suitable basis. Suppose there were a chariot on even ground at the crossroad, harnessed to the thoroughbred, waiting with goat lying ready, so that a skilled trainer, a charioteer of horses to be tamed, might mount it, and taking the reins in his left hand and the goat on his right hand, might drive out and back by any road whenever he likes. So too, because whenever anyone has developed and cultivated mindfulness of the body, he attains the ability to witness any aspect therein, there being a suitable basis.
Continue with benefits. Benefits of mindfulness of the body.
Benefits of mindfulness of the body. Because when mindfulness of the body has been repeatedly practiced, developed, cultivated, used as a vehicle, used as a basis, established, consolidated, and well undertaken, these 10 benefits may be expected. What 10?
That's the first one. That's the first one.
One becomes a conqueror of discontent and delight, and discontent does not conquer oneself. One abides, overcoming discontent whenever it arises.
Okay, we're going to thank you very much. We're going to reflect one by one. What's the first benefit? Is one becomes a conqueror of discontent and delight. And discontent does not conquer oneself. One abides, overcoming discontent whenever it arises. So are we discontented or contented? No, equanimity? Sometimes. You know, the richest person in the world, you know him or her? Bill Gates? No, that's wrong. The richest person is the one who is contented. Yes, the one who is contented is the richest person, because there is a Dhammapada phrase which goes to say that contentment is the highest wealth. So if you want to get rich, if you want to be wealthy, be contented. Be contented in 3 areas. 1, you have to be contented with what's suitable. What's suitable. 2, you have to be contented with what's available. 3, you have to be contented with what's within your means. So those are 3 kinds of contentment. So most of the people, why they get discontented? This is their means. This is how they earn. Huh? Okay, let's start with this one. You see this hole? You see? This how much they earn, and this how much they spend. If you're an investment manager, you should advise people not to do like that. This their income, they earn income, and they go vacation on Hawaii. You see? So, such a person will always go to be discontent. Why? Because they earn this much, and this is what they spend. The net effect is that always their expenditure is going to be more than their income. And that's called imbalanced livelihood. The Buddha recommended to have what you call balanced livelihood, whereby your income and expenditure are in balance. So these people are always going to be discontented. What should we do? If this is our income, we make sure that that's our expenditures. You see? Always this person is going to be contented because this is all their income. They just spend this much. Maybe go to Uganda to see Bhante Buddharakkhita. Not too much. You don't spend much when you come to Uganda. Who has been to Uganda? Raise your hand. No, not here. Not here yet. Okay. So that's a guideline to investment, all right? You got it today. Remember this. Now, about with contentment with what's available. Most of the time, people always want to, I think you know also there's a saying, grass is always greener on the other side. That's not what you should do. You should make sure that always grass is greener within your compound. Okay? That will bring you contentment. But every time, people, Singapore's very hot, Uganda is much better weather. No, in Singapore you get a free sauna. You don't have to pay. Everybody say, I'm not going out, it's very hot. I say, you don't know how Singaporeans are very lucky. Most people you travel to Japan, it's cold, America, they have to pay a lot of money to be in the sauna. Okay, be contented with what's available. What's available in Singapore? Big sauna. You should be contented with that, okay? But of course, don't endanger yourself and every time to stay in the sun and get a good tan like me. Don't follow my example. For me, I just go, no problem, no umbrella, nothing, you know. So now, contented with what's suitable. What is suitable for you? Me, there's something suitable. What is suitable is not suitable for you. So most people want always to take things, but they're not suitable for them. They're not suitable for them. They're not. And they advise other people to have something which is not suitable for them. A good story is, I think, which is given by Ajahn Brahm, when a professor went to Mexico and found a boatman and was so relaxed on a very remote beach, you know, playing cards and with the family playing guitar and having a good time. He has the whole day to himself. And this professor from Harvard, he was an American, and they said, please, can you take me across the river? And say, okay, no problem, Signor. Sit on a boat. So then the conversation between a professor from business school, Harvard, I think, and this man who's just laid back, enjoying his life. So a fisherman on a fishing village. And then you see how the people from the United States, and they're just having a lot of money, and they have a lot of business stuff in their head, a lot of theory, you know. So you start giving advice to the fisherman. You know, you live your life, you know, you can't even buy another boat, this bigger boat than this. And then actually you can take more passengers. I don't know the story in details, but let me try. And then the man said, okay, yes, okay, I'll try. And then he said, when you buy another boat, then you buy other boats which are bigger. And then he kept on giving advice until he's buying a cruise boat. It's now cruising in the United States. And then he's floating shares. And then getting rich, one of the richest person on the island. And then the man said, but Senor, what will I do with my money after that? Oh, no, the professor said, I think you can buy a small island in Mexico and then retire and then buy a very small boat and then start playing music, enjoy with your family, you have more time. Your shares actually making a lot of money and you are very free. But he says, Senor, already I'm doing that. So you can see how other people teach us to be to have things which are not suitable for us. That man he's going to have a lot of burden. Imagine if he's having a fleet of boats in Los Angeles or somewhere, and he has to keep track of all those boats, you know. So he will not have peace of mind. You see? So it's not suitable. Maybe that's suitable for the Harvard professor in the United States. But this Mexico, I'm going to teach in Mexico this year, in July. I'm going to be teaching there. So people are living a simple life. That's what is suitable for you. So most people are recommended by others to live a life which is not suitable for them. It's like giving a pair of shoes. What pair of shoes? What's the size? 8? 8. And I say, have 10. What do you think? Is it suitable for you? But most of the time, people recommend us some lifestyle. Okay, no. You buy Mercedes. You buy this, is suitable for you. But do you like a Honda is suitable for you? Is it? What about which size you put on? Which size of the shoe? You don't know? 5. If I buy 3, is it suitable for you? These scenarios I'm giving about the size of the shoe is exactly what happens. This is what happened in our life. Our friends, our husband, girlfriend, they say, no, you should do like this because our neighbor is doing like this. We should buy another house in Malaysia because our neighbor has a house. We should do this, we should do this. But they should be, this is not suitable for you. No? So how many contentment? Let us remember. Contentment according to what? 3 kinds of contentment. 1, suitability. 2, what's available. Then finally the 3rd one, within your means. within your means. Actually, most of us, we live beyond our means. We beyond our means. Okay, now that's the benefit number one. When you practice mindfulness of the body, you contented. You are contented because you can see exactly what's going on with your body. You see how the body functions. You see how you look at the breath. It's a breath. You don't have to make it longer. It's just a breath. Actually, mindfulness of the body it teaches you how to be contented. Sometimes the breath is longer, sometimes shorter. You don't have to demand, oh, now I want a long breath only. For the next 5 breaths, I want it to be long. No. You have to keep on according how the breath comes. And then do walking meditation. And then you be mindful. And then you are not going to be conquered by these problems. Okay, second one. One becomes a conqueror of fear and dread. And fear and dread do not conquer oneself. He abides or she abides overcoming fear whenever it arises. How do fear arises? Fear arises because of craving. So when you practice mindfulness of the body, it helps you to overcome craving. Every time you undermine craving, also you undermine fear and dread. That's the story behind that. Mindfulness of the body helps us to overcome craving. So when you're breathing in, breathing out, very soon you find out you have to let go the breath. You don't have to, again, make it longer or shorter. You have to let go of the breath. Now the body doing walking meditation. You walk, walking, and then when you build your concentration, and because of continuity of mindfulness, you build concentration, and then you see the body in different elements. Earth element, water element, pressure, tightness, hotness, coolness. You lose the sense of the solidity of the body, which you usually attach to. And that's attachment, once that attachment disappears, then also you're not going to have fear, because fear comes from craving, any kind of craving. So that's very easy to understand. We go to number 3, one of the benefits of practicing mindfulness of the body. One bears cold, heat, hunger, and thirst, and contacts with glad flies, mosquitoes, wind, the sun, and the creeping things. Then one endures ill-spoken, unwelcome words, and arisen bodily feelings that are painful, racking, sharp, piercing, disagreeable, distressing, and menacing to life. Mindfulness of the body. Now, most of you may be a problem when people speak bad words to you. You become patient. And also most of the time, the weather is cold. Sometimes it's very hot. This happened to me when I was practicing in Burma. When I was practicing in Burma in 2003, it was very, very hot because I was coming from USA. I had spent almost 5 years in USA without going back to Africa. So before I went to Africa, I went straight to Burma, to India actually first, then Burma, Nepal, then Burma, to practice meditation. I'm telling you, I was given a kuti was very, very hot. Very, very hot, made of corrugated iron sheets. Lunchtime, I didn't want to go to this kuti, this house, because it was like a blast furnace. I stay, meditate. Then I went to my teacher for an interview. And then, because I was a foreign monk, I stick out. I was the only African in that crowd, 100 people. The teacher asked me, "You have any problem with food? Do you have any problem in Burma?" And then I looked around. I didn't find much problem with food, but I found a little bit of excuse. I said, let me give a little bit of excuse. I said, actually the weather is so it's too hot. The heat is crushing me. The heat is challenging my African upbringing. I told my teacher like that. I thought I grew up in Africa, I can tolerate all the heat, but I say, okay, let me try one thing to complain to the teacher. The teacher will say, too much heat in Burma? I say, yes, too much for me. And said, but Venerable, this heat is nothing. I said, what? This heat is oppressing me. It's oppressive. He said, no, there's a big heat that you have to be aware of. This is even hotter. The heat of greed, the heat of hatred, and the heat of delusion. I say like this. I had not thought like this is heat actually. Despite the fact that in a sutta, it talks about mohajina, dosajina, and lobhajina. It actually is given. Jina is fire. Yeah. I've read that sutta is called fire sermon, but I could not correlate it. I could not connect the two things. You know? And I say, And then he told me, Venerable, just work on that heat. This heat in Burma, you go to Uganda or you go back to the United States, you'll overcome it very quickly after 1 month. But the heat of greed, the heat of hatred, the heat of delusion, and you can put more in the list, the heat of fear, heat of anxiety, the heat of neurosis, and everything. So that is something that you're going to live with, So you better work on it. I left the meditation hall, and then I gave up my umbrella. That's the first thing I renounced. I gave my umbrella to other people. Now we are 100 meditators. Everybody. Me, I decided not to put an umbrella. I decided to deal with the heat that was coming outside, because I knew that I have a higher heat to work on. So this heat was nothing. So now I caused the chaos in the center. I'm a monk. Everybody's looking at me, and I'm the only African monk. I stick out very well. Everybody, Bhante, please, have an umbrella. I said, no, I don't need an umbrella. You have no idea how many umbrellas I got that time. And there's no single umbrella I accepted. This is a silent retreat. All people were supposed to be keeping quiet, but the compassion people have, they could not bear me without umbrella. Either they thought I don't have one, but I proved to them that this heat they are protecting, no. You need to protect with a heat inside you. So when I read this, that one bears cold and heat, this reminds me of my retreat. Now what I was doing, whenever I was walking, let me tell you what I was doing when I was walking. I go out and it was hot. Hotness, hotness, hotness. Whenever it was hot, hotness, hotness, hotness. Is it not what we do? Mindfulness of the body? Yes, that's what we've been doing. You missed a lot, those who are not here. Tomorrow, when it's hot tomorrow, two things you have to do. First, you say, I'm very lucky. I don't have to pay for sauna. People in Japan, they're paying, and in America, you say, I save money, and I can do something, a project maybe for BF, Buddhist fellowship. That money that you would have paid for sauna somewhere, you are saving it. That's the first thing you think about it. Then the second thing is to try to be mindful of the heat. Whenever he's hitting your skin, hotness, 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 hotness. You're going to see hotness arising, hotness passing away, and you're going to enjoy. However, there's a little bit of a caveat in this. Don't get skin cancer, and get skin burn, what's called sunburnt. Then there's a monk from Uganda who told us, you go home, your husband, wife asks, hey, darling, what's happening? You look a little bit red. There's a monk who told us that you can overcome heat when actually you practice mindfulness of the body. I want to be popular in Singapore. Maybe I won't be able to come next. They say we don't like that monk. It's against Singapore National Health Guidelines to expose yourself to too much sun. That's a caveat I can say, but anyway, the message is very clear. The message is very clear that actually at least you can tolerate. Of course, use your umbrella, but you have the best umbrella. What's the best umbrella? Mindfulness. Yeah, because there will be certain times when you don't have your umbrella. Do you have your umbrella all the time inside the building? No. Sometimes the AC can break down. And it's so hot. What's the case? I've been traveling a lot through Dubai. When I came to Dubai this time, I saw people supplying water. As I was entering from the airplane, they were giving us water. And it was so hot. Then the person says, sorry, the AC is not working. I said, what? I know what I was getting into because this is a big airport. It's like maybe 10 times or 15 times as your airport here. And that's airport I'm going to go through to come to Singapore and say, this is hell. I forgot to think of a sauna, actually. Next time I'll think about it. I'm telling you, that airport, modern as it is, AC was not working. Certain part, not all of it. I'm telling you, almost 10 or 15 minutes walking through that airport, no AC. This was the first time ever since I went through that airport, over 10 years. I was so surprised to find out the AC is not working. So those times, that time when the AC is not working and you cannot use the umbrella, use the umbrella of mindfulness of the body, and then you are going to deal with the heat easily. You're not going to have a lot of difficulties. Okay, that's a good benefit. Glad flies, of course, when the mosquito biting you. Today I got some mosquito bites when I was walking. I thought I had enough mosquitoes in Africa. Singapore mosquitoes are very hungry. I'm telling you, in this park, and I didn't see them. It was so itching. It was itching. And the good thing about mindfulness of the body, I was noting itching. You cannot stop mosquito from biting you, but you can have a good mosquito repellent. What's the best mosquito repellent? Mindfulness of the body. Okay, what about wind? Let's go to endure ill-spoken words. How do we endure ill-spoken words? Tell me. Most of you, maybe you are baffled with when people are saying bad words to you. What do? Angry. You get angry at people. What if they keep on speaking ill-spoken words? This goes a little bit of mindfulness of hearing, because you can look at the words as physical, because they have to go through sound waves. I mean, they are sound waves, they are physical, isn't it? This is part of the body. You can just become aware of hearing. When somebody say, you are like a pig. We are talking about ill-spoken words. If somebody say you're like a pig, what do? You tell them also you're a pig? No. You tell them that, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You can tell, you call me a pig? It's only the pig that can see the pig. It's only pig that can see the pig, So no need to get angry at ill-spoken words. Actually, for me, what I do, it's a little bit of more about that mindfulness of the body. Whenever somebody say ill word to me, I just say hearing. That's all what's going on, isn't it? We interpret the words. It's us who keep on interpreting them, ruminating over them again and again, and we get angry. Okay, if somebody say you're a dog, what do you do? Huh? Let me tell you, when these things happen in life, have a sense of humor. That's how I overcome this thing. Have a little bit of sense of humor. A little bit of sense of humor can go a long way. Can go a long way. When somebody says something to the Buddha, it was a Brahmin who was saying these ill-spoken words to the Buddha. And he was a Brahmin. Actually, the reason he was saying these ill words to the Buddha, he heard that the Buddha never get angry. He's an enlightened person. The Buddha never got angry. And he said, he warmed up. Let me go and really, really try to make him angry. And he said, then the Buddha said, sorry, excuse me, sir. Do you have relatives? And the Buddha say, the Brahmins say, yes, I have relatives. As he said, do you visit them sometime? The Brahmins say, yes, I visit them. And then he said, when you visit them, do you take some gifts to give to your friends and relatives? He said, yes, I take them. And then the Buddha, the fourth question, when you take these gifts and give them, what do you do with your gifts when they refuse them? Oh, the Brahmins say, I just take my gifts back. So the Buddha say, yes, your words, I don't accept them. Please take your ugly words. So next time, somebody say ill words, ill-spoken words, you say the same thing. You can enjoy. I don't accept them. You can enjoy your words. So find out something. Find something. Don't get so personal when we come to ill words. So for me, the last time I played with my sense of humor is when I had ill words, ill-spoken words. Somebody asked me in Uganda, is a different religion. He told me, Bhante, are you married? I said, no, I'm not married. Do you have children? I said, of course, no children. He said, sorry, bad news. He said, you're going to go to hell. I thought it was a joke. He said, Bhante, you are going to go to hell. I said, what have I done? He said, you're not married. I start pleading. I was pleading, actually. What about all the work I've done, a lot of good work I've done around the village? I give food to people, come to the temple, children, I give scholarship. I have water projects around the village. We have now supplying water, cleaning water to school. And all. They said, no, that doesn't count. All people who are going to go to heaven must get married first. Then when I saw that these things are getting serious, I said, yes, you're right. You're right. And then I gave a reason. I told her that if all people, first I told her that, what about all monks in Sri Lanka, Thailand, Burma? She said, no, all those monks, kaput, hell. I said, okay. Once she was serious like that all my brothers in Singapore, those who are not married and everywhere, they are going to go to hell, I said that the matter is very serious. So what I told her that, okay, wait a minute. If all of those people, those who you say that they're going to go to hell because they're not married, if they go all to heaven, and you and all of them, what will happen? It's going to be overcrowded. You're not going to enjoy. So we better go to hell. You go to heaven, there will be more space, and you can enjoy your heaven. Up to now, we are good friends with this person. Resolved. Issue dissolved. Every situation will demand you to find out some ways of actually responding, not reacting, so long as you have mindfulness. That's the beauty of mindfulness, because when you practice mindfulness of the body, it teaches you to be patient. Because you are watching. You are more mindful and all these things. Okay, we got another benefit. one obtains at will, without trouble or difficult, the 4 jhanas that constitute high mind, and so on, present abiding in here and now. Did we see present abiding now, here and now? The jhanas are called pleasant abiding here and now. We discussed about this. We don't have to go further. So in other words, if you want to go for vacation, go jhanas. That's the best vacation, very cheap. Because most people have to travel to Thailand to have a pleasant holiday and all these things. You can do it right here. Okay? Through mindfulness of the body. Now one with various who can read? I'm a bit tired now. I've been reading a lot. Who? Yes, you. Yeah. No. He. You read. Maybe you. No. Next one. Next person. Next person. Next person. Try to read. Yeah.
One wields the various kinds of supernormal power. One wields bodily mastery even as far as the Brahma world. With the
Okay, continue.
With the divine ear element, which is purified and surpasses the human, one hears both kinds of sounds, the divine and the human, those that are far as well as near.
Wait a little bit. That means when you practice mindfulness of the body, you don't even have to make phone calls to Uganda. Next time you invite me, so how about for the benefit? Such are the payoff. Such is the trade-off of practicing. So now you continue reading. Of course, this is a higher practices where to gain this you need to practice continuously. But these are the possibilities. Okay, continue.
One understands the minds of other beings, of other persons, having encompassed them with one's own mind. One understands a mind affected by lust as affected by lust, an unliberated mind as unliberated.
Yeah, continue.
One recollects one's manifold past life, that is, one birth, two birth. Thus, with the aspects and particulars, one recollects one's manifold past life. With the divine eye, which is purified and surpasses the human, one sees beings passing away and reappearing, inferior and superior, fair and ugly, fortunate and unfortunate, and one understands how beings pass on according to their actions.
According to karma. Yes, so you'll be able to do that. All these are benefits. Yes, the more you practice, the more you can get these benefits. Very clear. We can continue.
By realizing for oneself with direct knowledge, one here and now enters upon and abides in the deliverance of mind, and deliverance by wisdom that are taintless with the destruction of the taints.
This is a very big explanation. By realizing for oneself with direct knowledge, one here and now enters upon and abides in the deliverance of mind. This is called Cheto Vimutti, and then deliverance by wisdom is called Panya Vimutti. This is a practice whereby you gain concentration. So you use concentration as your main focus. It doesn't mean you don't use others. You use also other practices, but here you use concentration and get deliverance of the mind. In Pali it's called Cheto Vimutti. Then deliverance by wisdom, Panya Vimutti. Vimutti means liberation and Panya means wisdom. So you use wisdom as your main focus to gain liberation in order to overcome what we call taints. Taints are craving and ignorance and these mental defilements that actually tie us on samsara. So sometimes they're summarized as fetters, sometimes taints and all that, but you know that it's just mental defilements. You overcome them completely and you gain liberation using mindfulness of the body. Number 43.
Because when mindfulness of the body has been repeatedly practiced, developed, cultivated, used as a vehicle, used as a basis, established, consolidated, and well undertaken, these 10 benefits may be expected.
Okay, now it's very clear from number 42 that by realizing one's self-direct knowledge, one get what you call deliverance of mind and by wisdom. This is the culmination of your practice. The other ones are bonus. Bonus, like being able to overcome ill will, spoken words. These are bonus, really. Really, the best thing you can ever get through all this practice is to liberate yourself from suffering. And what are the cause of suffering? Is mental defilement. So whenever you practice mindfulness of the body, you cut, you chip. You keep on chipping them. This mental defilement, you weaken them, you make them weaker. That means greed, hatred, and delusion, fear, all mental defilements, you weaken them every time you practice mindfulness of the body. The good thing about mindfulness of the body is that the body is there all the time. The breath is there all the time. And the physical body is there all the time. You can access it always. You can be aware of the elements, different elements. With that, who want to read the last moment? The last moment, this is Sister Eileen is going to read the last statement there. He's going to close our retreat. Yeah.
It's only one line, Bhante.
Yes. It means a lot.
That is what the Blessed One said. The bhikkhus were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words.
And they say, Sadhu,
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 Sadhu.
Sadhu. Okay, thank you very much. These are the benefits of mindfulness of the body. Some of this you should read actually, because we have so many people, especially here, young people. If we talk about passing through one wall to another, so it might be boring. The rest you can read, reference. So we want to really remember what benefits everybody can gain here. Right? Maybe passing through walls and all these things might be far-fetched, at least at this moment. So I think I would like to end this talk now and then focus on questions just about anything you can ask. You remember last time when we started the retreat, I said, hold on to your questions. Just ask about meditation and all these things. This is the time to ask questions just about anything.
Are there any? None behind, is it?
And if you don't ask questions, I'll ask you questions about anything. That's the karma. That's the karma, instant karma. So this is a session, 30 minutes. There's a session for dialogue with Bhante. It's called dialogue.
Bhante, I've got one question to ask you. You know, there's one sutta, there's one Brahmin who scolded Buddha. He says that monks, you should plow the field. If you don't plow the field, you cannot eat. Because we, as a farmer, we plow the field. You know, but Buddha, what do? You do not plow the field. Why should you deserve the food, the alms food? Then after that, one of the questions that Buddha says, which I don't understand, is that, the food that you know, after he gave him a lesson, then maybe Monday you can update. Why is the food that when the Brahmin offered to him, he cannot eat? Because he says something about, I don't earn my food by chanting. What is the meaning of that? And then after that, the Buddha says that this food can only be eaten by Tathagata and his disciple.
This food
can be eaten, the food that is offered, but Buddha refused. He says this food you cannot offer to the Brahma, Devas, because they can't digest it. But if you offer the Tathagata and his disciple, we can digest it. And then, but Buddha refused this food, and then he told the Brahmin to throw it in a place where there's no living beings. So when the Brahmin throw it over there, the water start to hiss and boil. You remember the sutta? But why is it that Buddha can't eat that food?
We'll ask the Buddha.
No, the Brahmin. Brahmin want to give it to the Buddha.
Right.
There is one Buddha, Kasi Brahma Vaja Sutta. That's why, when somebody scold Buddha that, you don't deserve the food because you are not working.
Yes, you see the thing that sometimes they are giving the food to the Buddha and without respect. You see, most of the time, the way how the Brahmins were giving food, because they think the Brahmins are the superior people. So they are giving bhikshu, what's called food, alms to the poor people with arrogance. And with the background like this, the Buddha cannot eat that food. Because when you offer food, you have to offer with respect, with understanding and all that. But the Brahma, with a wrong view, first they are look down the society of the people. And the Buddha, he had already downplayed the Brahmin's status. And he says from Kaitiya, which is actually, to him, it's very important according to history. They say Brahmins just come from the mouth. The Buddha just laughed at that. So the Buddha, I think for that reason, he cannot eat that food because he just feels that somebody who is offering is not offering based on respect as the Buddha, as somebody is coming from a lawyer of Dhamma, Dhammaraja, the king of Dhamma. I think that could be the reason, but that's my view. I remember that sutta. Yeah, I remember that sutta. But the only reason I can see is offering has to be offered with respect, with understanding and all that. So the only reason the Buddha would refuse that food is to teach probably the Brahmins the proper way of doing it. What would you think the reason, according to you?
Because what happened is that I don't understand, because Buddha says that he don't take the offer by chanting.
Because that's what people those days we are giving food.
As rewarded for chanting.
Yes, that's what they're doing. The Brahmins, you have to offer them food and all that. It was like exchange, a commercial exchange. But here, it's not an exchange. You remember when the offering, according to Brahmins, then you have to chant and you have to pay, actually. Correct. You had to pay them in order to officiate these ceremonies so that they can go to the Brahmin world. So they were middlemen. So Buddha refused to be, yes. Yeah, because according to Buddhism, monks are not middlemen. We are not interceding the followers to the higher power so that they can go to Nibbana. So now, think that is going to be given food in exchange of chanting, he refused. In fact, in many ways, when you look at in Buddhism, even when monks are given food according to the tradition, there was no chanting. There was no chanting. Yet, in the Brahmins, there was a lot of material things exchanged to do what we call sacrifices on behalf of the people, and then they give these things. So that's the only reason I can feel.
Next question.
Even along those lines, when offering food, people had to remove their shoes. They removed their shoes because if in the Brahmins, they fought the height, so they would stain their shoes. And they would offer monks who are barefooted. So so that show that their status is higher if they're in the shoes. So that the monastic rule, people are offering food, they have to remove their shoes. Yeah, so it's about the Dhamma. The Dhamma is high. The whole thing, it was about not so much about the Buddha per se, but it was the Dhamma. To respect the Dhamma. The Dhamma is higher. Even the Buddha say, the one who sees the Buddha sees the Dhamma. One who sees the Dhamma sees the Buddha. So whoever is high, always the Buddha had a respect for Dhamma. Didn't have respect for the Buddha. But even the Buddha himself respected Dhamma. That's why when he passed away, he said, I'm not going to leave anybody apart from the Dhamma. Dhamma is going to be your teacher and all that. So all those things that he was navigating is around to respecting the Dhamma. Okay. Another question?
I have a question regarding rituals and celebrations. Personally, because I'm not very fond of rituals, but I know that maybe a lot of people depend on rituals or habits. Can I get some understanding how we should look at it? Is it even necessary? Or what is the importance of rituals and festival celebrations?
Very interesting question. When you practice rituals and celebration, how do you feel? What do you feel when you have celebration?
I don't know why we do it. Maybe for celebrations, because it's fun. I don't know.
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's why I want to ask these questions.
Actually, there's one feta. It's called attachment to rites and rituals. Attachment to rites and ritual is a feta that actually ties us to samsara, to the round of birth and death. Now, what are those rites and rituals? When you look at in history, those are rites and rituals like walking like a cow, thinking that when you walk like a cow, you are going to attain enlightenment. Then live like a dog. They're called ascetic practices. Ascetic practices. By then, in India, even up to now, I think, is that people do these practices with the intention to gain enlightenment. Now, in Buddhism, we have many rites and rituals. Is it relevant? That's the question. Or are we attached to those rites and rituals? When I look at the history of Buddhism, it's marked with it's a long history, 2,600 years ago. Can you imagine? 2,600 years ago. And it was from this region to another region. There's no internet, no books, nothing. What was there? People. Now, no university maybe, no library, nothing. What was there is people. And people are what? Human beings. They have to live their life. They have to dig. They have to live their life, which is sorrow and all these things, and death and birth and all these things. So now, what can we do that can bring us together? You lock in your room, meditate, breathing in, breathing out. You open your room, you go out, you go to work, go and lock in your room, breathing in. What do you think? Meditation. We're talking about meditation. What do you think in a society of people where there's no internet, no telephone, no roads, better roads like this? All what you have to do is just go to a teacher, a monk, and learn meditation, and then go and lock yourself and breathe in, breathe out. Meantime, you look at the background of other religions. Other religions were so many rituals. Hinduism, there's a lot of religions where Buddhism came from. Don't forget, it didn't come from isolation. It didn't come from a bubble commercial houses and shopping centers. It came from, you have to look at the background of Buddhism to appreciate this actually. It was so many religions, Jainism, Hinduism, Islam, Catholic, you name it, over maybe 100 religions surrounding it. But now Buddhism came, you're just breathing in, breathing out. Hey, let's go and remember Buddha's birth. No, it's not necessary. You breathe in, breathe out like this. Now, this is very important, I think, since we have less time. I'm going to give you an analogy. Usually I like analogies. Do you take bananas? Bananas, eh? You know bananas? Do you take them? Sometimes. Okay, where do you buy them? Uganda? So here's the banana. Eh? When you buy it, what do? You put in a car? You put in a car. You put in a car and carry home. And put where? Okay. Now when you buy bananas, do you peel them from a supermarket? Peel them, all the peels, and put there, leave there in a Santosa supermarket, and say, I'm going to eat bananas. And then you take that banana, okay, this is the peel, and then you take the banana and then put in a car and drive 30 minutes to your apartment. And you get the banana, people, oh, welcome. What have you been shopping? It's the bananas. Where are they? They are there. And then they get it. The peel is already at the shop. Then you get your banana. You go on a lift with your banana. No peel. You put it in a fridge. No skin. We have already passed that. We said that we left the skin because we're not going to eat skin. It's not necessary. We just left the skin from where they were selling it. Okay? You get analogy. Now, after 2 days, 3 days, I bought bananas. Okay, let's look at the fridge. You get it and eat it. Is that what you do? Why? You need the peel to transport bananas safely. All the 30 minutes or 45 minutes that you're going to spend to go home, you need the peels. You don't eat the peel, but you use it for transportation so that it's going to be there for other people to enjoy, especially when the monk from Uganda comes. The first thing is asking, do you have bananas? Then it's okay, let me check in the fridge. You open the fridge, you show me the banana where you have a peel, you left it in the market. I'm not going to eat it. Though my staple food is bananas, but I'm going to excuse myself. The problem is when you bring that banana, and it's at your home, you don't peel it, and you eat the inside with the peel. That's one problem. Next problem people have is to throw the bananas and eat the peel. Are we together? Now, we know we don't eat peels of bananas unless you're a monkey. But anybody who buys bananas in a supermarket, any person who has some gray matter, they buy their actually bananas with their peels, transport it safely, reach it at home. When it's ready to eat, they eat what's the incense. So the Buddha's teaching has to have a peel in order to survive other religions and in order to be disseminated actually, because it is an enactment of our ceremonies, our rites that makes it alive. Even the things that look like rites and rituals, when you look at them deeply, they make a lot of sense. Like you would see somebody in Sri Lanka put some food and offer to the altar. This comes from a teaching where the Buddha said that if we knew the benefit of giving food to others, you'll never eat even a single morsel of food without giving it to others. So in that context, people used to get a little bit of food and give it to other people, to the beggars. In a way, it's a symbolic if we put it here in front of the Buddha. Now let us go through our rituals, and then we're going to define a ritual. A ritual on the right, in Buddhist context, if you are doing something which is related directly or indirectly to the Noble Eightfold Path, then it's worth performing it. If you're doing something which is nothing connected to the Noble Eightfold Path, directly or indirectly, that's maybe not worth doing it. But then you have to check whether you attached it or not, because the problem is attachment to rites and rituals. It's like getting attached to the peel of banana. Now, when you look at what we do in Buddhism, candlelights, very soon we are going to have candlelights. It symbolizes what? It symbolizes wisdom, to dispel darkness, which is ignorance. So then that's connected to the Noble Eightfold Path. What about incense? It's a virtue. Virtue, when you light incense, the smoke goes unhindered as someone who's virtuous. Look at the Buddha statue itself. It's a symbol of enlightenment. Again, Noble Eightfold Path. Look at flowers. Symbolizes the teaching on impermanence. Then you look at water. We give water. Sometimes you see water being given here. Then that's water. It symbolizes quenching thirst. What is that thirst? The thirst of tanha. Tanha is a Pali word which means craving. Literally, thirst. So we put water there to quench, to show that we are quenching thirst of craving and all that. So most of the things that you are seeing here, even in celebration of some of the things that we celebrate, actually Buddha adapted them. Like a Poya Day, the Poya Day, what we call the Uposatha. Uposatha was not celebrated in the beginning. That means full moon and new moon. Then the king Bimbisara asked the Buddha to adapt this day so that it can bring people together. Ascetics who are living by themselves like this, at least they have a once a day, like other ascetics, they came together and then recite their rules. Now come things like Vesak. Vesak Day was already actually practiced in a Buddhist, in those countries, India and all these things. So most things he adapted. But when we look at some of the things even we introduced, now what do we have that you might be uncomfortable? Bell. Ringing a bell is to make sure that you open your ear so that you can listen to the Dhamma, so that you become mindful of hearing, mindfulness of hearing, and then it's meditation object. This may be not being the time of the Buddha. Sitting on a cushion, is it a right hand ritual? No. It's to raise your hip above the knee. So then microphone is just so that I can speak, you can hear me. Now I'm sitting higher than you so that you can see me. Otherwise, then what else? Blackboard. Then this is called multisensory learning. Now what else? Okay, very soon we are going to have chanting. So this is not again rites and ritual. Because it's connected to Noble Eightfold Path. What have I left out? Relics came later on. But later on it was adapted as a great man, a great person. But how you are doing it also depends. How are you doing it? Are you doing it as an attachment of rites and ritual? Or are you actually doing it to gain faith and confidence? Because it can go two ways. Just like any other thing. You know somebody who manufactured a car? You can either use it for home or drive it in water. It's up to you what you do with it. Or you can use it as a mobile meditation temple. And then you can meditate in it. And you can use it for Dhamma. I mean, you donate one, I'll tell you. I will explain to you. When I come here, next time I come to Singapore, there's a car. We have a mobile meditation. So we go to JB like this. Nobody has ever thought about this. Only driving. No. Even rituals, you think about the relics, you can actually transform that into something else. Okay, there's some people who get attached to it. Even the Buddha, before he passed away, Venerable Ananda asked, what are we going to do with your relics? He said, leave it to the people. Right? But again, we see now monks involved in that. But now, that's a different story. Even now, okay, relics were not there before the time of the Buddha. Of course, it was part of the culture those days. In Hindu tradition, any a great person, their relics was actually put in a what you call crossroads, and they build a stupa. So this is pre-Buddhistic. But if we adapted it, let's say the worst case scenario that we have adapted this culture from India and now we're using it, it can go two ways. Either we get attached to it and then we don't get benefit, or actually we use it to inspire us and gain faith and confidence. Once we have faith and confidence, then we can practice Buddha's teaching, and then we can progress on. Because with faith and confidence, we get effort. From effort, we get mindfulness. Mindfulness, we get concentration. Concentration, we get wisdom. Now, once we get wiser, who cares about which relics, whether it was Sariputta's relics, or Ananda, or whatever. So you can see is what are you using this aspect of teaching? Are you using it to hold on it? Or are you using it to practice it? Because even the Buddha ultimately, this is what the Buddha said, even his teaching is to be used as a raft. To cross over what? To cross over the ocean. Not to just put it up. So even you think that, okay, you push away the relics, and then you start the Buddha's teaching, and you hold on to it, you are in trouble. So your answer to the question is, we understand Buddhism evolved for so many years. It had to adapt a lot of things from the Brahminic religion. In fact, there's a lot of undercurrent. Brahmins, Hinduism, there's a lot of stuff that came in. And the good thing about Buddhism, here's the good thing about Buddhism. Wherever it goes, it absorbs. It absorbs the culture. I remember my sister one time asked me, when I just introduced Buddhism in Africa, he said, I don't want to become a Buddhist. I said, why? What about our African things? I said, what things you're talking about? Everybody was becoming a Buddhist. My mother was a Buddhist. I was the first Buddhist in Uganda, and then my mother. Then I was wondering why my sister's holding back. And now she asked me about African things. Then she told me, in Africa, when somebody is born, they cut off, especially in Uganda, they cut umbilical cord. And the mother keep it in a very good place. That part of the umbilical cord, they keep it in a very, very good place as a kind of a souvenir or what, I don't know. They keep it somewhere in a case and keep it completely. I saw it one time actually with my mother and now I'm no longer seeing it actually. But she told me that I've kept something from a child because it's a part of the culture to keep it somewhere very far away and keep it, and it's part of their body anyway. So it's okay, they have a right to keep it. Anyway, it's just a small part of the umbilical cord that actually it's dry and they kind of, I don't know whether even they keep it, but that's part of their culture, our culture anyway. So now, she told me that the reason why I cannot become a Buddhist, I don't know what to do with this thing. I said, don't worry. The Buddha doesn't care. Buddha cannot care less what you are doing with the umbilical cord of yours. So the message, I think, is very clear that even though Buddhism has assimilated a lot of things, we have to be careful to understand these things. Why am I doing it? And when you ask yourself, you find out there's something connected to Dhamma. Something connected directly or indirectly. And in many ways, it's going to be indirectly. And then you can do it. But even if you find out it's not connected to the Dhamma, the bottom line is that human being like something that brings them together. Eating together, celebrating together. And I think this is what we don't do enough in Buddhism. I just feel for me we don't do enough. Everybody's breathing in, breathing out. People are busy going to Africa to distribute Bibles. And We don't do it enough, I think. So
Bhante.
let us accept those things. I think I better end this
No,
because we are
you have
5 minutes.
4 more questions.
Oh, 4.
That's why I interrupted you.
Why I dwelled on this question? Because very soon we are going to part to start these rituals and rites and all. Sorry to stay long on this, but in 5 minutes you are going to see boo in front of you. Bhante will be fast bowing down. Actually, this question demanded a lot of time. The first thing you are going to see, Bhante bowing down. What's bowing? Gratitude to the Buddha. In fact, bowing down is respect, and bowing down is part of mindfulness. Mindfulness of body, mindfulness of feeling, mindfulness of mental mind states, and mindfulness of what? Of mental objects. That bowing down you're seeing. Most of the time you are seeing it, people doing it, you never even asked. So let us have another time, and I talk about rites and rituals, because we are running out of time. Okay.
Dear Bhante, how does one sustain consistently the internalizing of the Dhamma? For instance, after listening to the Dhamma talks, I'm hopeful and at peace. However, after a few days, when I'm faced with difficulties, I feel anger and irritation arising quickly, and the peace I had earlier is no longer there, even though I remind myself to let go of anger and ill will, etc. Please advise. Thank you.
Oh, this is a very easy question. The thing is, when you practice in controlled environment, you are recharging. So this is the field work. Don't get scared. Whatever you are going to do, you get a lot of challenges. Don't think you have lost everything. There's even, I think, in one Buddhist book, it's like regarding the wisdom you've gained. They talk about when you're writing a letter, and then lights go off. When lights come again, do you begin the letter again? No, you just stop where I stopped. So even with the practice, don't think that you've gained calmness and then tomorrow to go out of the window. No, don't think like that. Try as much as best as you can. One of them is what you call practice Dhamma in daily life. It's called practicing Dhamma in daily life. I've written a book. I told you I will bring one tomorrow. No, when I can. Not tomorrow. When? When I'm coming back? 18th I'll bring a book called Drop by Drop. That means practicing Dhamma in daily life. In other words, you don't have to leave whatever you've gained at BF. We don't have a store for it. Take with you and then try as much as possible to integrate it. And the first time you're going to feel a little bit irritated. Do you know why? Because you have cleaned the stuff. It's very easy to see. Once you have cleaned your stuff, it's very easy to see. For instance, when you go for vacation and then the light has a lot of dust. You go, you cannot see in your books because it's dark, because of dust. And now you start being diligent, you start cleaning it, cleaning one day, you see more. One day, you start to see dust. Another cleaning, another round, you see the cobweb. Now, is that bad news? Is it bad news in order to clean your bulb and now you're able to see a lot of dust? No. So it's good news that now you have been meditating and you go home and you start to see the things. Before maybe you are ignoring them, but now you are seeing it clear. You get irritated. And in many ways, actually, after you have left a retreat, you become brittle. Because you listen clearly. Before somebody was saying, you gloss over it. But now, hearing. It goes. Thinking. Before, just grab something else, get distracted like this. So this is your good work, actually. Don't underestimate it. Don't actually feel that it's going to get lost. Just try as much as possible. And don't cling on to subtleties. Yeah? Just live a life whereby you allow yourself to practice as much as possible. You know that the conditions are not as here. Keep listening to Dhamma talks. have a regular practice, many other things. Retreats, come to Uganda, and refuse. It's called recharge. Eh? People laugh. She has been to Uganda. Raise your hand if you have been to Uganda. Yes. Don't think it's impossible. Eh? I think you should give a big sadhu to the sister, because most Singaporeans, they say, Uganda? Eh? Sorry, what's that? 3 of them. Where's another one? Downstairs. I think we should say sadhu to the sisters, because it took courage. Sadhu. It takes courage to leave Singapore, I'm telling you. It's a lot of comfort. First, the big sauna right there. To leave the big sauna, and then very clean and all these things. So actually, this is not a joke. I have a great respect for people letting go. It's called renunciation. This is renunciation, actually. You people, you don't know Singapore is heaven to us. The food, the cars, everything is clean, and the roads. Anyway, I'll answer your question by giving you a book. The one who has a problem with practicing at home, I'll give you my book, and you can leave email, and then before even I send you the physical copy, the hard copy, I can even send by email. Don't worry. You learn how to blend. Okay, another question.
Those who want to practice renouncing further, next year maybe Bhante may be organizing another retreat in Uganda in August, so keep a lookout.
Okay, another question.
Dhamma teachers taught us to treat all sentient beings, even our enemies, with loving kindness. Many reasons were given. They could have taken great care of us in our previous lives. They want us to be happy just like we do. Our loving kindness is generally a helpful attitude, and so on. How can loving kindness be done skillfully with wisdom? Are there other reasons why we should practice loving kindness? Thank you.
Yes, there's other reasons. They gave 11 reasons. One, you gain concentration easily. Another one, you actually die unconfused. Another one, if you don't attain the highest level, you go to Brahma world. It's like opening your eyes like this. As soon as you die, you're in the Brahma world. Not Uganda. I heard rumors, I'm yet to confirm this, in the Brahma world, please listen to this, there's no gender issues. That's what I heard. But the benefits is that when you die, it's like opening eye. It's like this. When you die, it's like closing your eyes like this. Peacefully. And you die. And when you reborn, it's like open your eyes and you are in the Brahma world. How about for the benefit, Dad? You don't want to miss those benefits. So many. You are not harmed with the poison, not harmed with the weapon, not harmed with the fire. Do you believe that? This is the fire actually of greed, hatred, and illusion. If you practice metta, you are not harmed by greed, hatred, and illusion. That's a good benefit. Do it. It's good. Do it. It's better with metta. Remember, you can write that. It's better with metta. Okay, last question.
No, second last, Bhante.
No, I think last.
Second. What are your...
You see, the thing that I'm in Singapore, I have to be careful about my time.
What are your... Dear Bhante, what are your views on learning meditation from different Buddhist traditions? For example, Thai tradition, Burmese, Mahayana, Tibetan Buddhism. For instance, to learn from 2 or more traditions at the same time. Thank you.
No, what are the benefits of eating Uganda food and Singapore food, and Malaysian food? What will happen? Actually, they say that... Sir? She said stomach ache. Actually, I heard about the son of JFK crashed in an airplane. I watched the documentary. One of the blame they raised for this man is that he learned driving the airplane with so many pilots. And in fact, he was given different instruction. You can even watch it. It's there, documented about how he crashed the airplane. You know, the son of the U.S. president, called John Kennedy, he crashed an airplane. And the reason the pilots gave is that he was trained because his father had a lot of money. He would say, go here, land from here. So he didn't consolidate very well all his practices. Okay, having said that, actually, I'm a person who practiced with so many teachers. First with my mother. My mother said, if you have nothing to say, keep quiet. If you have nothing to do, sleep. That's the first Dhamma dose from my mother. And then Bhante Gunaratana, 8 years, Silananda Sayadaw, Burma, like this, and then Hindu tradition, born Christian, became a Baha'i, initiated in Hindu, all this. It's good in the beginning, but at some stage you have to gain faith and confidence and specialize. It's good to have a good overview. That's what actually I had. That's what I had. If you don't do that, Bhante Gunaratana said like this. It's like digging one hole here, another hole here, another hole here, like 1 inch here, 1 inch here. The whole Singapore, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. He said, how deep is your hole? Have you been digging these holes for 1 inch? Yes, 1 inch. You've been digging these holes for 1 year. How deep is your hole? 1 inch. So the answer to that question, give yourself time to explore. Give it time. Don't do it endlessly. For me, I did all this exploration. I was like a kid in a supermarket, candy, just looking at candy. And so I was checking this. It's not good. I went to Tibet. I was in Tibet, Tibetan Buddhist. I went to Hindu. I initiated Hindu. So get some time and say, I'm going to give myself 2 years or 3 years or 5 years to try to navigate all spiritual tradition, all teachers, all these things. And then you say, now it's enough. Let me review all these. What's my best? And then you choose one and practice that one. Otherwise, you are going to spend the rest of your life. I know a friend of mine who introduced me to meditation. And he has been practicing for a long time. Up to now, he has never found a single tradition that he actually likes. So for me, come 2000, 2002 I became a monk. Since I became a monk, no other things that I'm going to go because I've already specialized. It's Theravada, it's Vipassana, it's this and this. That's it. If you tell me that there's a guru who came to town and you look at the crowds, and when you look at the clouds, all your hindrances will go away, or you are going to attain Nibbana, I say, no, I don't want to attain bananas. A friend who paid for me to go for a retreat in the United States is still searching. From time to time, he sent me questions. Bhante, what do you think about this? For me, since he took me to the retreat, he's the one who paid for my air ticket to go to the United States in 1999 for 3 months. After I did the retreat for 3 months, I started specializing. I started learning. I went to the university. I learned Buddhism. Everything I specialized. For him, up to now, a Hindu teacher comes, he attends. Another teacher comes, he attends. From time to say, Bhante, what do you think about this non-duality? You're the one who trained me. Because he's still digging. So the answer is try to explore to some extent. And then after that, specialize. That's the best answer.
Last question. Before you go down, what is the significance of bathing the baby Buddha?
You mean you don't bathe? You mean you don't bathe? You don't bathe? Why not? Actually, this is again another rites and ritual. I think very soon we are going to be doing it. It's come actually from Mahayana. It comes from Mahayana, and of course, water is a sign of purity. To my understanding, It's actually water is a sign of purity, and I don't know exactly.
Get purified.
Yeah, to purify. Yeah.
Like the Buddha.
Yes, like the Buddha. That's what I can think of, and we should do it because that's something connected to the Dhamma. Purity. Purifying what? Greed and hatred and aversion. That's not a Theravada tradition. It came from actually Mahayana tradition, if I understand very well. Anyway, thank you very much, Sadhu, for your question.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
And I wish you Buddhamas. Buddhamas. I wish you a happy Buddhamas Eve. Yes. With all its rituals, to please learn from them. They have their place. They can keep us together. And also, actually, practicing together is very important. If there's anything that helps us to be together, let us celebrate. Otherwise, so many things are disuniting people. Right? Disuniting people. Anything that brings these three things. One is support, another one is unity, another one is support. How many? Unity, harmony, and support. If it's something that is a ritual that you are celebrating that is increasing these qualities, it's very good for the Sangha, for the community. Thank you very much.
Sadhu, sadhu.